Sam's a part of like the Beats and Lyrics show as well, but even though her main thing is, I know obviously she's not here, but her main thing is she deals with a lot of stuff with like Afro punk music, a lot of different black arts that, or not necessarily black arts, but a lot of punk music, rock music. That's her creative thing. But even though she helps us out on a particular show that's a hip hop show, but we talk about everything from politics to sports and entertainment and everything like that, But the thing about Sam is she's a mother, and she still manages to get out to events. Like she moved here from, was it New Mexico, or like she moved here from the southwest of the country, from a town that hardly anybody's in.
Well, she grew up in Mexico.
Right. And she moved here from a town that hardly anybody was in, and already she's making like crazy inroads with different movie companies here in Atlanta that I can't speak about, right? That we can't speak about. We're not going to steal her thunder. Eventually, we're going to say that. Don't steal my iPhone. That's a 6. And make sure you check out her website, offtherecord.com.
Oh, yeah.
She's one of our co-hosts on the radio show. If she's a single mom, moved here from the Southwest, she grew up in Mexico, and already people have seen her work that do movies here in Atlanta, and they saw her work. We like your creative work. We want to work with you. If she can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about music. And let me ask you, because one of you alluded, you're into soul music.
Yes.
I've had this theory lately. I feel like in hip hop, people are very accepting of styles. This is West Coast, this is the East Coast, this is trap, this is Southern. I feel like in R&B music, because I listen to soul music. And I feel like when I think about R&B, I also think that there are so many like sub-genres of R&B, but people don't give it that acknowledgement or that respect. And when I hear people mention soul music, a lot of times they're talking about older artists. They're not talking a lot about some of the younger artists.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting you say that, because me personally, when I say soul, that's not what that's not what I mean. What I mean about soul music, whether it's new soul, whether it's like has an alternative vibe, I'm talking about it's from the soul. You feel like it's not something that's being overly commodified for you to purchase. The lyrics of the song, or whatever like that.
Soulful.
Yeah, soulful. You know what I mean? It's like, did it touch you in any way? So, because when I think soul music, I think of Dwele. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of funny. Like the average person, if I said to you, "Who do you know Dwele?" The average person here, they're like, "Dwele may not be familiar with Dwele," but I went with Dwele to South Africa and his team in South Africa, and witnessed everybody in South Africa, like a crazy crowd, knowing word for word every song. And that's kind of like the thing that kind of kills me sometimes, because I think we don't have enough. The internet helps, but we don't have enough, like in the mainstream platforms, enough diversification. Because it's just kind of like if someone says, "You're a fish, you're a fish, you're a fish, you're a fish," but in reality, you're a bird. But not recognizing you're a bird, you can fly, you can do something differently than what a fish does. So it like pigeonholes you in one way or one avenue. And sometimes that's what hip hop does. It's like the only way you gotta do, you gotta always talk about the trap, you gotta always talk about this, you gotta always talk about, I like big booty women, I like all that type of stuff. But if you only talk about that, people sometimes think that's the only way you can be. You can only be a fish, right. You can't be a bird, or eagle if you want to, whatever, how you want to put it. Odell, you might want to expound it.
Well, just speaking on the soul thing, and it kind of speaks to something else I want to talk about. It's like a lot of times, we have to start looking at the fans. The fans have to start taking some of the blame on a lot of this nonsense that's going on. Like I'll meet people, and they'll be like, "Odell, I like get R&B made this and that right now." I'm like, "Hey," I'll be like, "Are you familiar with Eric Roberson?" I'll be like, "Do you know about Tony Marmelli? Do you know about these people?" So, and then they're like, "No, we never heard them. I listened on Pandora." And here's the example. I went to see. I met Eric Roberson a couple of times. Big fan of his, and he did a signing at Blues Music. And I pre-ordered his album and everything and stuff like that. And I was just talking with him, and he said that we're talking about technology, and he said it's weird because people really don't understand the value in things. And he said he'll be at a show, and he said somebody will walk up and say, "Hey, you know what? Listen, I love your stuff. You know, I have a Pandora station of yours and everything. I never bought an album, but you know, I listen to you on Pandora all the time." And he's like, "I don't really know how to take that." He's like, "Because you're basically telling me that you enjoy my music and you really love it, but you don't want to support it. You don't want to pay for it. I'm not on a major label. I'm not, you know, this and that. Like, you're listening to me on Pandora all day. That's not really supporting my movement, you know." And so when I tell people, these artists and stuff like that, like, even if you look at hip hop, even with the female MC, a lot of times people talk about the whole Nicki thing and the whole Iggy thing. But then when you tell them about a Rhapsody, when you tell them about a Little Brown, you know, when you tell them about a Dutch Rebel, they say, "Oh, okay, yeah, they're dope. Okay, but did you buy their album? Did you go to their show?" So these fans have to start taking some credit, some of the blame in this thing right here, because there's a lot of great soul artists, there's a lot of great R&B being made, and there's a lot of garbage R&B being made. But you are only focusing on the garbage, and you are only supporting the garbage. So then, when people like that come,
I mean,
I think too, sometimes that garbage exists because it's attached to a major label.
It's a machine behind it.
And so then they're trying to say, do this, do that, because I can't even think of garbage soulful artists or R&B artists that I've heard. Like, I just cannot. And, like, I always tell the story of SZA. Like, because I've been listening to her for like 2 years.
Yeah. I met her at a bumper shoot in August. Great person. Great interview with her.
Her music, like there's this chick out of the St. Louis I love, Teresa Janae.
Okay.
Love this girl. And these artists, and I remember when I heard that TDE sign, I was just, as a fan, because I'm a fan, like I listen to, are you familiar with 22 Tracks? Put you guys up. They're gonna have to cut me a check because I'm telling everybody about this site because it's my favorite site. But I listened and discovered these artists on there, and I never pay attention to who I'm listening to. I just let it play, and then when I say, "Damn, like that's a good song," let me go back. Then I said, "Well, now who is it?" Since I'm going back,
right. And
then I'll go online and buy stuff, download, and sometimes I've gotten mad because some of the indie artists, they give everything for free. Yeah. And I'd like to pay them.
And it's funny you say that because, see, I'm a big T-shirt guy. I love wearing T-shirts. And if an indie artist has a creative T-shirt, even if I can get your music for free or whatever the case may be, because really, to be quite honest,
we do radio.
I don't really buy a lot of music, to be quite honest with you. You know what I mean? I'll promote you as much as I can on the website and the other multimedia platforms that we're involved in. But one thing I really love is dope T-shirts. Like, there's a dope MC in Atlanta, like Star. You may be familiar with Star. She's a dope lyricist. And Star, put together a dope T-shirt with her logo on it. And I was like, I'll buy that. Because that's also my way. If this T-shirt's also creative, that's also my way of advertising you and what you do. So I understand. 50 Cent changed the game. We're giving away free music, and a lot of artists now give away a lot of free music. I understand that to some extent. Especially if you're independent and you're trying to compete. But you do have to have some sort of merch that kind of keeps propelling you a little further along, So, I understand where you're coming from in that regard. But at least for a guy like me who loves T-shirts, who loves hats and stuff like that, I'll give you free promotion. If I like your music, I'm going to rock your T-shirt, Hey, make sure you check out jforce.com.
Of course.
All right, ABLradio.com.
Hey, who's that again?
ABL.
Oh, okay, I just want to. But, like I say, great. At least T-shirts or promo ads. I know raising money to get that going is important, but if you're going to give away the music, at least have some merch.
It's so cheap to do things.
Really
I tell people you can look like $1 million for like $100.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like, it's so easy. You have companies out there. You don't even have to buy the shirts anymore.
Yeah.
You can get the artwork in on-demand print.
Very true.
I agree with